Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I have gone twice around this field, and then I have taken the seed drill back up to the yard, and I refilled it, and I am now going to start it going with the hired help, and we'll see how that copes. So it should, in theory, be able to cope just fine, because it can see the collisions, and then it will turn round. It'll leave a little bit of an untidy strip up this side of the field, but I'm hoping it's going to be able to work its way all the way across. And the only bit that it's going to miss is going to be that piece. I'm trying to point to the screen again. I keep doing this. Is going to be that little piece over there underneath, and then we can come back and we can finish that off afterwards once we do all the tidying up. So it'll. She doesn't even need to back up. We don't have the front weight on this tractor yet. We will get that sorted fairly soon. But what we're going to need to do today is we're going to get started on doing a little bit of spraying. We want to spray that field up there, and then potentially we want to come back and spray this field. Before I go any further, my question for this week is, how many sheep would you like me to get? Take a look at this map. We've got the sheep zone, and we've got the... Hang on, I'll do it in the escape menu. It'll be a bit easier. So yeah, we've got the cattle zone up here, and we've got the sheep zone up here. And we do actually have a tractor sat up at the cattle zone. That is that one there with a front loader. That is up there. So we'll go and take a look at that in just a minute. So you can just sort of see the cattle zone, and we will drive over to the sheep as well and take a look at that so that we can just sort of see it with our pickup that we now have coloured in blue. So yeah, how many sheep would you like me to get? Would you want me to get 100, 200, 300, 400 or 500 sheep? Keep in mind that whatever you request is the number of sheep that I'm going to get on the map before I start buying cattle. So, yeah, if you want me to sort of just get a few sheep, go for 100 or 200 sheep, and then get some cattle and start building up the numbers of both of them together, then yeah, ideal. Or would you prefer me to go for a full 500 sheep, not doing anything to do with the cattle, just concentrating on sheep to start with, and then move on to the cattle afterwards? So it's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know what you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote by mousing over in the top right hand corner. Now we have a great big pile of money that we do need to spend, so we're just going to watch this one for a little while as it slowly sort of starts to work its way across the field a little bit. We've got $1 million, we've got $1 million New Zealand dollars, and I've said that I would like you to just comment about what combine you think I should get to go with this map. Now I'm thinking, if Rossel Mash is available in New Zealand, that we should go for the Torum 760. I think that'd be a really good one to get. Potentially, I think that those three there are too big for the map. So, you know, possibly the Case Axial Flow 7130, although that is the one that we're using on our Goldcrest time-lapse series. Not time-lapse series, the other series. So I'm not sure that we should go for it on this map as well. So that takes me to... Well, those two are the same. I think those two are... Well, actually, no, they're not the same. What is it the same with? I'm sure that's a reskin of something. Is that a reskin of one of these models? Yes, actually, it looks like it's a reskin of that one there. 306, 276. It's very similar. It is very, very similar to that one there, if you have a look at them. I think it's just a reskin of that one. So it's a smaller one. It's 8,600 litre tank. So I'm not sure. So we've got to buy a combine, and the combine is probably going to set us back. I mean, if you're looking at possibly this Massey Ferguson here, that's $200,000 plus a header that we've got to get to go with it. So we're looking at $250,000 to $300,000. We're also going to get a forager. Now, I haven't decided yet between one of these. I mean, this is a massive forager. I think potentially it's a little bit too big for this map. I was wondering about leasing the forager, just as sort of a different way to do things. Which, by the way, does take me to my question. I forgot the end of Sosniovka. I asked you all the question: did you want me? How you want me to do the buying and leasing? And I don't think I mentioned it yesterday. I'm pretty certain I didn't. I haven't actually gone back and watched through the video just to see if I did or I didn't. I don't think I did. I don't remember writing down the numbers. So I said, do you want me to buy everything, lease everything, or buy and lease in a mixture combination? 2,607 people answered that question in the last week of the Sosniovka series. To leasing everything, 56 people said lease everything. So I think we can rule that one out. 393 people said they wanted me to buy everything, much like we were doing in Sosniovka, although we did kind of move away from that a little bit right towards the end of the series. And then buy and lease combination, buy what we can, lease what we can't buy when we need it, or if it's not going to use it very often. 2,518 people. So I was wondering whether we should lease the foragers. Maybe we should get the forager and just lease the forager as and when we need it. So then we could use either the crone or the this New Holland here that we can you can choose what colour you use on it, and it's got all of these. I'm not sure what these are. I think this is just the design logos. I don't think it's anything else. You've also got the crawler track and standard wheels, but then you've got that one and that one and that one, and I have no idea what those three mean. So if anybody can tell, I think it's in German. I'm pretty sure that's German. It looks German. It's got a feel of German about it, although I am just purely guessing here. So if anybody knows what those three mean, if you could let me know in the comment section, that would be absolutely brilliant. I would really appreciate that. So we might lease some of these. I'm not quite sure yet. If we don't lease, I'm thinking that we'll probably, rather than going for that one, I think we'll probably go for the New Holland, or maybe that crone there. I'm still not certain, because if you have a look here, these here, we'd probably use one of those there. And then you've got the direct cut pieces here. Those don't make any difference to performance of the machine. However, when you get onto these bits over here, we've got the Crone Easy Collect. That's a really wide cutter on it. And then the New Holland one is also a wide cutter on it. These three here are quite small. Ignore the Kemper. The Crone and the Rosselmash ones are quite small. I know this from doing the time lapse, and they're quite time consuming, although the fields here are fairly small. So yeah, I'm undecided on those, what we're going to buy, but we're going to use a huge chunk of money to get some of this stuff. That's why we've got all of this money, so that we can get some of this really cool stuff. But I'm going to listen to your comments this week. I'm not going to commit to buying any of it until next week. One thing I would like to get, the MAN TGS 1844S tipper. Now this is a little tiny one. Small lorry with you got standard, you got all extras, protection bars, additional lighting, yeah. Got the colours and so on. It has, back up, 15,000 litre capacity. Now, the reason I want to get this, I want to get a small trailer to go with it, is because if you, yeah, see, not that one, this one here, the rigid body, if you look at silaging videos for New Zealand, you will very often find, see, we're coming up quite nicely on this now. I think I'm actually going to end up stopping once we get down to the end of this bit. So I'm sorry for just sitting here watching this and talking about machinery for a while, but this could be an interesting little bit just down the end here. You watch silaging videos of New Zealand, and you'll very often see small compact lorries like that. And yes, I can use the word lorry rather than truck, because we are in New Zealand and we're not in the States, so I can, they call them lorries in New Zealand. At least I believe you do. If I'm wrong on that one, then please correct me. But yes, I think it's lorries in New Zealand. So, yeah, we've got the MAN TGS lorry, and we can use that one. Yeah, see, now I've finished. This is where it gets a bit more difficult to try and do this field, because it's such an awkward shape. I like to try and do as much as I possibly can using the hired help, and it does get a little bit difficult. I'll tell you what, we'll do one pass up here again, like this. If I come up through there, I'll go up and let it turn round and come back down once. Actually, no, I won't. We'll just go up here and we'll stop. Then I'm going to move up to the top, and we're going to start going sideways along there. So that should take care of most of the rest of this field, and then we've just got a few little odd pieces to finish off. I think that would probably be the best way to do it. This field is going to be difficult. I don't know how much we're going to be working this field. I'm not planning on working all of these fields all of the time. We'll just sort of put a crop in them every now and then, because to do it all of the fields all of the time is definitely more a time-lapse type thing rather than a Let's Play type situation. I feel that trying to do that in the Let's Play is just going to... it's going to result in people getting really fed up with the whole series and not enjoying it in the slightest. Now then, so I'm just looking around. What is the best angle to do this? I want to try and get it at right angles to what we were doing over there. I think I'm going to need to go like that, really, aren't I? Can I do it like that? Let's try. See what that does. Helper B has completed their task. Right, well, it didn't like that. Let's just smash it into the fence. Do us some serious damage. We didn't really want to do that. So we want to bring it like that, so it's going to be at right angles to what we were doing. There we go, that's corrected it. We'll come up and it will turn round, and hopefully this is going to work properly. This is what I'm hoping. We've got the ocean up over there. We'll go and take a look at that in a minute. Actually, let's go and have a look now. While that one's turning around and sorting itself out, let's just take a quick look at the ocean, because we haven't walked up over here and taken a look yet. You've got the edges of the map. Obviously, you've got a few floating trees here and things like that. Oh, we can't go any further. So you can see the ocean, but you can't go any further. And you've got kind of the design for, like, just filling in for the trees around the edge of the map, which is really, it's actually quite well done, because, you know, unless you come right up here and you see it right on the edge, you sort of don't really notice very much. Now, what are you doing? Oh, I see. It's straightening itself up. When you go through the rest of the map, those trees, you can't see they're sort of floating, and it does blend in fairly well. So, overall, it's an impressive looking map. You've just got those white-edged ones right on the very edge, which you wouldn't ordinarily notice. It does go through them, it does clip through them, because they're not, they don't have the collisions. It doesn't recognise it as needing to move round it. Now, I'm hoping that we can just sort of leave this tractor carrying on with what it's doing here, and we can go and do something else, which is going to be over here. So we are hopping over the fences, and we're going to race over here. While I'm running over here, so you got the manned TGS, and if you look at the New Zealand silaging videos, you'll very often see small lorries like that doing the silage and carrying silage back and forth. I've seen quite a few with small lorries like that, so I would like to get one and include that in our silage operation. It's a great little mod, and I think it would be absolutely perfect for doing this with. And it's 155,000 to get that. I mean, we'd want wide tyres, I would have thought. I think that would be better. I think it would help it to grip a bit better. And we want a trailer to go with it. It would allow us a bit of variation. There's a few things to go with it. You can sort of, I don't know. We'll see. I might just lease that one. So that is another one that I would like to include in the map, just because I've seen sort of things like that before, and I think it would be a really awesome addition to what we're doing. So anyway, I've rattled on for ages now, and we need to stop. So placeable. There's one thing I am going to get here, is I'm going to get the vehicle workshop. I need to find somewhere to put this down. I'm actually thinking that we'll probably just dump it right here. If we spin it round, we've got a few trees behind our shed, but I don't think we'll be cutting those trees down. I think we'll leave them where they are. And if I bring the vehicle workshop out, you've got the fuel tank there. I'll bring this one over like that, so then we've got plenty of room so that we can use it. Plonk that one down there as our first decent purchase. And I'm now going to leap into the Lindner. And we're using the Lindner Lindtrack. Now, someone actually said in the comment section, you never see anybody using this tractor in any of the Let's Plays. And I didn't know it had a rear wheel steer. I mean, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Rear wheel steer. This is awesome. We've got a front weight. I went and picked that one up. And I'm just going to lower that one down and drop it off a second. We're keeping the wheels as they are, but I am hoping that we can change this to a different shade of blue. So let me go to main colour. Yes, there we go. I think it's the dark one. We did actually mean to check this, didn't we? So change of main colour. Why is it saying 0 down there? Customise. Yes. Okay, so it's allowed me to customise it without paying anything, which I'm okay with that. I'm quite okay with it. It does feel a bit dark. Maybe we've got to go and get the next shade of blue up. Let's go and run it over here. We've got a New Holland in here. We can just stick the two side by side. Compare. Right, that is definitely too dark. I am going to need to go a shade lighter, so we'll have to do the same with the pickup a little bit later on. Just so that we can make sure that we've definitely done everything right. Because I did say New Holland blue. Just forgive the dumping the weight like that. I want to do this quickly because we need to get on with our spraying. We haven't done anything yet today. So we want to go the next shade up and customize. Yes, okay. That's better. That does look better. I can already see that that is very close to the New Holland blue that we got in there. So we'll zip round and check this one out. We've got a bit of liquid fertilizer down in the shed down there that we can use, and I think liquid fertilizer can be bought from any of the tanks anyway. Now, look at those two. If you stick a side-by-side comparison, I would say that is the right colour. It does look right. So anything that we can colour, we will colour to this shade of blue. We've got the Deutz over there, not the Deutz, the Fendt. That is running New Holland blue. And our pickup is a darker shade. We do need to correct that one, so we will do that. It's back in here. We're going to get this sprayer on, and we're going to do some spraying in field 2, where we did some sowing of wheat yesterday. Once we've done this, once we've done the spraying, there's one more job I'd like to do. Remember, we're doing everything on 1x speed, so we're not like desperately pressed for time. However, we do want to get the jobs done. We do need to get things done and finished. That sowing will be done up there. Then we can spray that field before we speed up time. And we will also need... There's one other thing I want to do. I want to mow a couple of fields. We are going to be doing quite a lot of mowing on this map. So I will be buying the 2 biggest mowers that we can get on the map. I have had a few people ask me if I could get a mower mod. You know, the self-propelled one. I've decided not to at the moment. We may upgrade to it later on, but it's also very, very expensive. So what we'll do is we'll stick with the one that we've got. I'm not going to use those. I'm not going to use the one from the Kuhn pack. That one is a 9-meter wide one. This one here is... Actually, that's only 8.4. So that's a bigger mower. However, this one here can go on the reverse drive. This one can't. It doesn't have a reverse drive option on it, whereas this one does. So we will be getting this one because the Fendt has a reverse drive option on it. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to combine it with a windrower. Now, there is a way that a lot of people have been suggesting I use that, and I've got no intention of doing it like that because it is completely unrealistic. You would never see it. However, I have been told that there is another way to use the reverse drive and use a rake at the same time that is realistic. And I've someone actually said, it was Maya Pospers told me, she's a long-time fan on the channel and she's a regular commenter. She told me that someone she knows actually does run their machine in such a way. So that is really cool, the fact that we've got it confirmed, and I've seen it on a Google search that it is run like that. So I'm quite happy that we can do it like this, and once we've done the fertilizer here, I will show you what I mean. We don't need to put all 3 mowers on the front linkage, which is not something you would do. You certainly wouldn't put 3 mowers on the front linkage of the tractor. It would break it. I've never seen... I've searched and searched and searched on Google searches, and I've never seen, outside of farming simulator footage, pictures of any tractor with 3 mowers mounted on the front. I have seen pictures of 3 mowers mounted on the back with it in reverse drive, so that's what we're going to be having a look at. But right now, doing a bit of spraying with this one, so we may not get to that until tomorrow. I have rabbited on about various machinery, so I won't do that again. I know that there's quite a lot of you that don't like it when I get carried away just talking about machinery without actually doing anything. I thought we were watching that one work, but technically we didn't do a great deal. So yeah, I won't do that again. At least not anytime soon. We've got this spraying here. I want your opinions on what I've suggested about different machines. What forager do you think we should get? What combine do you think we should get? We've got enough money that we could buy a forager and a combine. I would like to buy a combine. We'll sell the New Holland one that we got in the shed. It's only a little one. I want a bigger combine than that. But I don't want it too big. I don't want it oversized for this map. And then when it comes to the forager, I'm not sure if we should buy it or if we should lease it. The person that made the map, Smith97 Gaming, I think it is, or is something similar to that anyway. Every single video I do of Watea Valley, his YouTube channel and his Facebook page, there'll be links to both of them in the description, so you can go and take a look at them. There's a guy that made the map. He's from New Zealand himself. And his personal recommendation for this map, to try and make it feel a bit more realistic for New Zealand farming, is not to buy the forager, but to lease the forager. The rest of it, go ahead and buy, but for the forager, either put it somewhere else and just kind of simulate leasing it, or actually lease it whenever you need to use the forager, which would simulate a contractor coming in, because a lot of farmers in New Zealand will use a contractor in order to do all of their not the spraying and everything, but just for the actual silage. When they're using a forager, they would have a contractor come in and do it. They wouldn't do it themselves. So we might do that. What is your opinions on me leasing a forager whenever we need it? The rest of it we'll buy. You know, we do the grass, we do the mowing and any raking, anything like that. But then when it comes to actually doing the foraging bit, we can lease a forager. We could also buy a forage wagon, and we could do some of that ourselves like that, because farmers would do such a thing. But I quite like this idea, I really do. I don't know about the rest of you, but I personally, I really do appreciate this idea of leasing the forager. So let me know what you think. I would love to hear your views on this one. We'll buy a combine, lease a forager, and then that gives us a little bit more money for doing a few other bits and pieces as well. Not quite sure what we're going to do. So I'm using double wheels on this tractor at the moment, and some of you may argue that, well, hang on a minute, you'd be using the tram lines for this. Actually, no, we've only just planted, and when you've only just planted, you can't actually see where the tram lines are. So most farmers that I know would, what you use is called a foam system. Oh, the tractor over there is blocked. I'll tell you about the foam system in a minute. I'm going to go and unblock that tractor a minute and just see how he's getting on. We might have to change the angle that he's planting again. For some reason he drove into a tree. Quite sure why, because I thought that the game was intelligent enough to avoid the collisions like that, but apparently not this time. However, it does seem to be doing okay by planting across this angle, so we'll let it carry on with this. If I just set it up again over here, let it carry on, and then I will nip back over to the sprayer and we can carry on spraying that field, and I'll tell you all about the foam marker system that we can use. Right, so the foam marker system, what happens is you have a tank. It's a little extra tank on the sprayer, and it puts a little droplet of foam on the ground, white foam that it does last for a little while, so you can see where you've been. By a little while, I mean, you get different types of foam and they can last for different lengths of time, but it could be up to an hour that you can see it quite clearly on the ground, so you know where the very end of your boom has been. And then you can drive up and down field, and it just leaves these little droplets every so often, and it sort of marks out where you've been on the ground, so that you make sure that the entire field has had one layer of coverage all the way over. And then when you come to going back over it, you might use the same system a couple of times. However, once you've done it once, you only ever need to do it the first time. And if you do 2 applications of spray, whatever it might be, before the first emergence of the seedlings, you can see where you've driven. When you go back over it again, you can see the tractor marks, tyre marks from the previous time, so you don't need to worry about the marker system, anything like that. And then once the crops come through, then you just drive where the tram lines are marked out. But to start with, just after sowing, like we're doing now, and also in the very early emergence of the seedlings, not everyone does it in early emergence of seedlings. Some people switch to narrow tyres fairly quickly, and then others will run up until, several weeks after emergence of the seedlings. It does vary from farm to farm and different agricultural practices depending where you are, so on and so on. But they'll use wide tyres or double wheels or even triple wheels on their sprayers, so that the weight of the machine is spread out a lot, and it does a lot less damage to any seedlings or anything like that. So if you've got seedlings that have just come through and you drive over with double tyres like this, it's less likely to have an impact on the long-term growth of the oops, I don't want to lower it, I want to keep it up in the air. Less likely to have an long-term impact on the growth rate of the seedling. Obviously they don't do it too many times because that would have an impact, and I was told by one person that they do it up for the first month after planting, and then after that they switch to the narrow tyres. Although they try to get most of their early emergence spraying done as quickly as possible, and then they don't spray anything at all for quite a while, and then they'll start spraying again. Now, this is something that I was told years and years ago. Farming practices may have changed. Best practice does tend to change quite a bit, depending on new research and stuff like that, and what people sort of discover and find out and so on. So, yeah, don't quote me on this. It could be completely wrong now. I am trying to drive where the tram lines are, or where the marks are that I've left. So yeah, those of you who are real farmers and you do things a little bit differently to that, let us know in the comments section. Educate us all, we would love to find out. We are running out of time for today, so we're going to just finish spraying this field, and then we've got that one over there. We can start doing a bit of spraying on there, although we do have a little bit of planting left to do. Actually, it would be alright. We can go and put one coat of fertilizer across the entire field, and then we don't need to worry about it until first emergence, and then we can do the next coat. We might get a weeder on this. I would say it's unlikely, actually. I'm thinking probably we won't get a weeder. We'll just stick with this tractor. And oh, actually, can we get narrow tyres on this tractor? If we can't get narrow tyres on this tractor, we're going to end up damaging the crop as it comes through. And I know I just said about that, but I don't really want to do that with the game. I'd like to not have tram lines marked everywhere on the map. Ooh, not the map, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. Yeah, not marked everywhere on the field. I would prefer not to have tram lines up and down everywhere. So I will... Actually, we could go and have a look at that now. While we've just finished spraying that field, that's all done. That one can carry on. He's doing his sowing. We'll go and meet that one in a minute. If we just fill this one up with fertilizer, we'll also run up. Let's just run up the top first and see if we can get narrow tyres on this tractor. I can't remember seeing them. Some of the small tractors don't allow you to fit narrow tyres, and also some of the biggest tractors don't allow you to fit narrow tyres. A little bit inconvenient, I feel. So let's just come up here. I love the rear wheel steering on this thing. It just feels so convenient. It also feels like you could probably very easily flip the thing upside down. Wide tyres, standard, twins. No, so we don't have narrow tyres on the Lindner. That could be an issue. So we can use this one for the first spraying, but we're not going to be able to use it later on, really, because it's going to end up damaging the crop. I don't want to be damaging the crop. I keep the crop destruction mod on. Purely because I just like the realism of it. I think it's fantastic that the crop destruction mod will destroy any crop whenever you drive on it. I mean, maybe you guys want me to change that. Maybe some of you would like to see me play a series without the crop destruction. The crop destruction, I should say. Yeah, so you know, maybe I should take it off for this series, and then we could run the sprayer with this one. But I'm not really sure. I don't think that many of you would appreciate that, because that is too far a break from realism, I think. We'll have to see. But if we drive this one round and we'll park it up on the headland down here, and then we can just see how the fence... Ooh, no, I want to come onto this side. Although this is a private track, it doesn't really matter. We can drive where we like. So anyway, my question for this week is, how many sheep would you like me to get here in Watea Valley in New Zealand before I start getting any cows? Now, just keep in mind that it's not the final target of the sheep. It's just how many do you want me to get before I start doing anything else. So I'm going to park this one up down here, so he's completely out of the way, and then we've got to finish doing this field. I'm going to finish planting this field before next episode, and then the fence will be available for our next task. I'd like to do a little bit of mowing, and I was thinking of doing baling, actually, because we've not done much baling in Sosniovka. Perhaps it might be an idea if we did a bit of baling, because we've done a load of grass stuff. So yeah, I think we might actually just do some baling on this map, which would be next. But we've got to get the mowers first, and then the baler and stuff like that. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to be doing a bit of baling. But the sheep, it's the sheep. I got distracted again. It happens all the time. You know this by now. 100, 200, 300, 400, or 500 sheep. How many sheep would you like me to get before I start getting cattle? It's not the final number of sheep that we end up with. We could end up with 1,000 sheep on this map. It's New Zealand we're talking about here. They do sheep in a big way down in New Zealand. So yes, we could very well end up with a lot more sheep than that. It's just how many would you like me to buy before I start getting cattle as well and expanding it a bit more like that. So it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know what you'd like and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner by mousing over the little white circle and clicking on it. Yeah, so like I said, I will finish up this field now and before next episode, and then we can start doing a bit of mowing. We've got the sprayer parked up on the headland ready to start spraying this field, so we might just do a little bit of that before we start up. This is quite likely the only time that I'm going to be planting this field, because it is ridiculously difficult to get round this piece in the middle. This is the bit that makes it so much more difficult to actually use this field with the hired help. This is more of a multiplayer field, I think, where people actually do it all themselves. Interesting challenge, yes, but this could very well be the only time that we do a crop in this field. I think we might just stick with some of those over there. They seem a little easier for hired help, and we do most things with hired help here. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give me a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.